Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 81, and I am pumped that you're here for so many reasons right now. Number one, this is the first podcast episode of 2022. So welcome to 2022, y'all. I am excited for the year. I hope you're excited for the year. And if you're listening to this later on, either in the year or in future years, then hey, you know what? Today is the first day of the next 365 days of your life. So whatever the case may be, it is a new year of sorts, and that brings a lot of opportunity for us. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But real quick, before we get to that, I want to just take a second to welcome all the new members at laundromatresource.com. There's been a bunch of you guys that have signed up over there, either for the free membership or the pro membership. And just wanted to say a huge welcome to you. It blows me away how many people there are over there connecting with each other, learning, growing, and trying to take that next step towards their financial freedom. So welcome. And I know a lot of you guys have gone over to the new member introductions forum at laundromatresource.com/forums and have introduced yourselves over there. Make sure you're going and welcoming everybody who's introducing themselves over there. If you haven't done that yet, get over there and introduce yourself. Connect with some people maybe in your area. It's very cool. My favorite thing is to see you guys connecting over there. And while you're over there introducing yourself and meeting people, make sure you pop into the other forums, the laundromat specific forum, the repairs forum, the financing forum, the commercial real estate forum. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there. So make sure you're getting in there and asking your questions, answering questions, engaging in conversations. That's what it's all about. All right. So I just want to make sure you guys were all welcomed properly here as we start out the new year. I don't have enough time to just call you guys all out by name because there's a bunch of you guys, but welcome, welcome. Super excited to have you and can't wait to do more with you this year. All right. Sweet. Okay. So I want to tell you a quick story. This is a story from when I was, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16. And my youngest brother, James, was maybe 8 or 9. And I may have actually even mentioned this story before. I'm not sure. But I wanted to tell it to you real quick. So we were on a family vacation and we went down to San Diego, and there's a cool little bay down there in San Diego. And we rented a jet ski for the day, or a couple of them. And we're having a lot of fun skipping around on the water on this jet ski, and just all day. A lot of fun, tons of fun. And being the cool older brother that I am, I wanted to take my younger brother James out on a ride, and he was like 8 or 9. So he was sitting behind me and we were cruising around, going full speed. Those suckers are fast. I don't know if you've ever been on a jet ski, but they're awesome. Definitely if you get a chance, hop on a jet ski. Okay, so we're cruising around and we hit the middle of the bay and I cut the power. I said, hey, James, you have got to drive this thing. It's super cool. And he was a little nervous about it, but I said, don't worry, I'll help you. I'll be right here with you, right behind you. So we switch spots and James starts kind of putting around. A lot of fun. We're not going top speed or anything, but we're still hitting some waves and bobbing around. It's a lot of fun. Well, he gets up a little courage and we go a little bit faster. And man, we are cruising. Okay, we're cruising and I see off in the distance that there's another jet ski just sitting idle out in the middle of the bay. And it has a dad and 2 young girls on it. His 2 daughters are sitting on this jet ski and they're talking, or I don't know what they're doing, but they're on their jet ski and we're kind of going in that general direction. And as we start to get a little bit closer, I yell up to James, hey, we need to veer off direction. We need to turn, go that way or whatever. Well, he hesitated for a second or two and we're getting kind of close to these guys now. And I think he panicked and he took his hand off the throttle and I was like, hey, we need to turn. And so he goes to turn. But if you've ever been on a jet ski, then you know you can't turn a jet ski unless you have the throttle on. That propulsion is what steers the jet ski. And so as we're kind of skipping along the water, going pretty fast towards this other jet ski, he's trying to turn. It's not turning because it's, there's no propulsion. And, if you've never done it before, it seems counterintuitive to, hit the throttle while you're going at something you might collide with in order to get out of the way. And so he's panicked. So I reach up past him and barely catch. I remember this so vividly. I barely catch with my middle finger the throttle of the jet ski and jerk the handlebar sideways right as we were about to collide with this jet ski with this dad and two girls. And the wave that we kick up and the spray that we kick up knocks the dad and the two daughters. It knocks them off their jet ski. They go flying. My brother and I, because we turned so sharply, we go flying off our jet skis, and crisis averted. It was so close. We almost collided with this jet ski going, full bore, which would have ended in disaster. It was so scary. And we checked on them. They checked on us. Everybody was okay. Jet skis were okay. They didn't impact each other. But super vivid memory of mine, one of the scariest times of my life. And I know for a fact it was one of the scariest times of that guy's life. So if you're listening to this, that guy, sorry about that, but I'm glad everything worked out okay. Right now, I tell you this story for a reason. Seems maybe a little unrelated to laundromats, but I tell you this story for a reason because over the last couple of months, I've been doing a little bit of reflection about this upcoming year, 2022 for me right now. And one of the things that I've been reflecting on is, what do I want the year to look like? What do I want to do? Right. And so I've kind of set my goals. I have some goals that I've set, and I kind of try to do this every year, set some goals and then try to make some progress towards those goals, accomplish those goals. Right. So for this year, for me, I decided I was going to pick a theme for the year, pick a word of the year for me. And I thought I would share that with you because I think that, as I was reflecting on my goals, and my goals over the years have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I have some pretty big aspirational goals out there that I'll share with you sometime. But those goals, I'm like pretty good at coming up with ideas and coming up with goals and all that stuff. But I say this all the time on the podcast, like none of that stuff matters. Learning, getting inspired, coming up with ideas, all that stuff is completely and utterly worthless unless you're taking action on that stuff, right? It's the action that helps you build the life that you want to build. It's the action that helps you get what you want out of life. It's not the ideas. As much as I love ideas and I am an idea person, it's not the knowledge. As much as I love learning and reading and studying, it's not that. It's none of these things. It's not even inspiration. I love a good inspirational Instagram post or YouTube video or something. And it's not that, right? The thing that's going to help me accomplish my goals is action. And so that's my word of the year. And so obviously the same is true for you and whatever you want to get out of life. Okay. Now let me tie that right back in real quick to the jet ski story. Right. And, I think this is maybe a good time for us to look at the trajectory that we're at in life, that we're on in life, right? Where are we heading? Take a look at your life right now and make an assessment, and maybe even pause the podcast for a second. Take a deep breath, quiet your mind, and think about your life. Reflect on your life. Where are you at right now? Are you happy with what life looks like? Or are you looking for some kind of change? Are you on a path that you want to be on? Is it going to take you where you want to go in life? Or is it taking you somewhere that you don't want to go? Right. So as I was kind of thinking about this and this jet ski story, popped into my mind, it kind of reinforced that idea of action to me, right? So if you're on a trajectory and you don't like the way it's going, you've got to turn, you've got to change. And I think a lot of times, I know I've done this a lot, and I know a lot of people do this, where you get inside your own head and you think about how you don't like how life is right now, or you think about how you don't like the direction that life is going on. And so, a lot of times we turn internally, and that's good. I'm not trying to disparage it. I think that's really good to reflect. I'm asking you to do that right now. I think it's really good to look internally, and then we need to externalize, right? We need to take the action, right? So what happens is we'll sit and we'll think about that stuff and we'll try to, wait for something to happen. And a lot of times nothing happens, right? And so it's kind of this paradox where you may or may not know exactly where you want to go, but if you can kind of pick a direction and just start taking steps, you may not know how to get there. You may not know what life is going to, bring you, but if you just start taking steps, then you have the throttle, right? You have the ability to start changing direction of your life. You have the ability to start steering your jet ski of life. I don't know. Maybe this is a loose tie for you, but it was really powerful for me. But anyways, right? You don't find the direction in life. Maybe you're stuck right now, or you're looking for, a new job, or you want out of your job, or I hear that all the time, right? That's a big draw of laundromats is to help people get out of their jobs. Or maybe you're looking for a place to put some money to go to work for you, or maybe you're looking for a relationship in your life, whatever the case may be, right? That stuff, you find it in the action, right? You find it in the action. Okay. And again, the reflection part, and we're going to talk about this in a second, but the reflection part is important, but it can't stop there. That's the initial phase. That's the foundation. The thing that's going to actually get you where you want to go in life and help you get what you want to get out of life is the action. Okay. So for me this year, 2022, action is the word for me. Now, I want you to take this opportunity, listen to this podcast. If you're sticking with me with my ridiculous jet ski story and all this, if you're still here with me, I want you to do this. I want you to think about what you want out of this year. And if you're in the beginning of 2022 and you can think about 2022. But whenever you're listening to this, like I mentioned before, it's the beginning of a new year, a new 365 days, wherever you're at, June, July, it doesn't matter, right? It's a new 365 days. Think about what you want to get out of the next 365 or 66 if you're in a leap year days. And let's crush those goals, right? And one of my goals is to help you crush your goals, right? My thing from the beginning has been, I want to share everything that I've learned about the laundromat industry, everything that I've learned about money and investing, all that stuff. I want to share that stuff with you guys to help you achieve the financial freedom that you're looking for faster, right? And do it the right way and not have to learn the hard lessons that I've learned and that a lot of my friends and a lot of my consulting clients have learned the hard way, right? I want to share those lessons with you so you don't have to learn them that way. And you can just hit the ground running when you get into this business. And then once you're in this business, my goal is to help you optimize your laundromat so you're making the most profit and doing the most good in your community with that laundromat. And if it's your desire, my goal is to help you scale that business into, something that you want to scale it into, whether it's, you want to be like Luke Williford and have 40 or 70 or however many laundromats that guy has these days. Or, maybe you want to do a huge pickup and delivery service or whatever the case may be, right? There's lots of different ways to scale this business. So my goal is to help you crush 2022, and to help you do that. One of the things that I've done is I have really committed over the last few months to trying to build out some really good tools and resources for you. And I'm going to be releasing at least one big one a week for the next 8 weeks because I have a whole bunch lined up. And I'm kicking it off with what I'm calling the Library of Knowledge. Okay. This is a pro member perk. And a lot of you guys probably don't even know there's a pro membership on the website because I don't really talk about it. I don't promote it. I don't announce it or anything like that. But one of the things I've realized is that by having a pro membership, it's going to allow me to bring you more tools, more resources, and help you even more, connect you with the people, the tools, the resources, the information that you need to succeed. Okay. So with this pro membership, this week I have just rolled out what I'm calling the library of knowledge, which I thought was just a strong name. I got so excited about it. I don't know if anybody else will think it's great, but I think it's great. So library of knowledge. And basically what the library of knowledge is a library of short video clips that has, frequently asked questions. It has tips and tricks, and it's all searchable and sortable by category. And so it's easy to find answers to questions that you might have, right? And these videos right now, I think there's close to 100 as we're launching of these videos. And I've hired somebody to continue to add more every week. So that library will be growing every week, pretty much indefinitely. And again, searchable, sortable, very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. And those videos are coming from a variety of sources, right? Some of it are coming from some of the best tips, tricks, advice, or whatever from podcast guests. And those are things that you can already find on YouTube, right? But there's also a lot of exclusive content also. So that's coming from coaching and consulting calls where people like you guys have asked questions that many of you guys will have. And in those calls, I've answered those questions. And so it'll come from there. It'll come from webinars that I've done. It'll come from exclusive interviews that I've done with other industry experts. There may be some sponsored videos that come from people who have other tools and resources that can help you succeed, and they'll want to tell you about those. So there's a whole lot of very, very cool opportunities coming with this library of knowledge. I think it's going to be a game changer for people in the business, especially as it continues to grow and to build out. So library of knowledge there is already up and running for pro members. So if you're a pro member, go check it out. Just go to laundromatresource.com, log into your account, click on the pro resources at the top, and you'll see right there, library of knowledge. Go click on that and go and check it out a little bit. If you're not a pro member, man, consider being a pro member. There's a promotional price right now because we're just kind of, I guess, relaunching. We've had the pro membership for a while, but this is sort of our first time we're really talking about it. Go sign up now because, like I said, every single week we're launching something new that's going to be a significant tool, resource, or something like that. So next week's, I am really excited about. Never seen anything like this tool that we're going to be launching next week. I'll announce it on the podcast. It'll be up and running starting next week, which is, second week of January, 2022. And it is very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. Okay. Anyways, this is not supposed to be a commercial or a pitch. I just got really excited about the library of knowledge. Yes. Library of knowledge is so cool. Okay. Anyways, I want to talk for a second because my goal is to help you crush your goals for 2022. And one of the ways I'm doing that is through these pro member perks. And again, like I said, there's going to be more rolling out every single week. Here, I want to talk about goals for a second, and I want to give you some tips of things that have worked for me, things that have worked for other high achievers, high performers that I know and that I've read about and watched their YouTube video, all this stuff. I've just kind of been a fly on the wall for a while, and then I started taking action and I've seen results, and I want you to see those results too. So I want to give you some tips on how to crush your goals this year, how to get what you want out of life. And again, I think that starts with you taking a step back and going inside, going internally and reflecting a little bit and thinking about what is it that you actually do want out of life, right? What are you looking for out of life, and where do you want to be? Where do you want to be, 20 years down the line? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So I have 3 quick tips for you to help you crush your goals. Now, number 1 is if laundromats are in the equation for you, whether you're thinking about buying your first one, or you own one, or you own multiple, you want yours to get better, you're trying to scale, wherever you're at kind of on that spectrum. If your goals for 2022 include laundromats to any degree, then tip number 1 is to go join the pro membership, laundromatresource.com/pro. And again, not trying to be a commercial, but I am genuinely excited about what this pro membership has to offer. To me, it's just a no-brainer. My whole goal is to make it kind of ridiculously cheap. And by the time, the 8 weeks are over, it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be stacked so high that it's going to be a no-brainer to just go join, and you should make your money back right away. And if you don't, it's 100% money back guarantee anytime. You can go 364 days. And if you decide at that point that there was no value in there and that you didn't at least recoup your money, if not, again, I'm trying to make it a laughable amount, because I already know that some of the videos, literally some of the videos in the library of knowledge, have saved consulting clients hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not even exaggerating with that. So I know there's already a ton of value in there, and it's just going to kind of climb. So my goal is to make it laughably cheap compared to what you're getting. And if it's not, then just tell me and I will refund your money anytime. Okay. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is a little less commercially. So tip number two is, it comes from the book Start With Why. So I guess the beginning of tip number two is go buy Start With Why. And I'll leave a link to it in the show notes, which is at laundromatresource.com/show81. You can find all the links there. Or if you're on YouTube, down below in the description. The book Start With Why really transformed my life. And it really was a little bit of propulsion to changing the trajectory of my life. Okay. And I don't say that lightly. I've read a lot of books. I read more than a book a week on average every year. And I know some of you guys read more than that, but I read a lot, and most of that is business, personal development books. So I read a lot. And this book was really big for a lot of reasons. And again, it starts with why, but it starts with encouraging you to go internal, like I've been saying, and reflect on what you want out of life. And what's the reason behind that, right? And that's going to be your driving force. So for example, for me with Laundromat Resource, my driving force behind it is genuinely to help you find financial freedom through laundromat ownership. It's why I've basically sold nothing for the last couple of years. It's why I've basically, not promoted anything that, costs money basically for the last couple of years. Because genuinely my goal is to help you find financial freedom through laundromats. And that's kind of one of my big whys for Laundromat Resource, right? And for you, thinking about what do you want to get out of life, and then starting with why do I want that, right? And once you know that why, if that why is big enough, then you can do anything. You can accomplish anything if you have a big enough why, right? So start with why, go internal. But then one of the concepts that really stood out to me in this book, and it's really something that transformed, again, my life and the trajectory of my life. And it's something that I do every day, actually. And that is something called goal setting to the now. Okay. And here's basically how it works. Again, go read the book because it's really good. But here's the basic concept of goal setting to the now. It's thinking about, hey, what do I want out of life long term? Maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. What do I want life to look like? And once you kind of have an idea, and again, all this is going to be evolving and changing over time, right? My goals in my life, I've had big goals, and then they've kind of, depending on after I've started taking action and I've started course correcting and learning new things about myself and about my goals, they've shifted around, right? But having something to shoot for long term, it gives you a direction to head, right? And once you start walking in that direction, then you can kind of course correct along the way. Okay. So thinking about what do I want life to look like 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line. And then saying, okay, if that's what I want life to look like, let's just say I want $30 million and I want to live on a mansion on the beach in Hawaii in 20 years. Okay. So if that's my big goal, then I need to figure out why do I want that? Right. I want to make memories with my family. I want all of you guys to be super impressed with me. I don't know, whatever the big why is, right? Find that why. And then say, okay, so if that's my goal in 20 years, I want to be in a mansion in Hawaii and have a $30 million net worth, right? What do I need to do in the next 5 years? Where do I need to be in order to be on track to hit that 20-year goal, right? Where do I need to be? Okay, so if I want to be at $30 million, in 20 years, then maybe my goal in 5 years is to be above $3 million, because I think once I get to $3 million, it's going to start increasing quicker than the first $3 million, right? So in 5 years, I want to have $3 million. Okay. So then you need to say, okay, well, if my goal in 5 years is to have $3 million, where do I need to be in 1 year in order to be on track to hit that $3 million goal? Okay. So 20 years. Where do I need to be in 5 years to hit the 20-year goal? Where do I need to be in 1 year to hit my 5-year goal? So maybe I say I need to have a net worth of $500,000 in the next year to be at 3 million in 5 years. And maybe that's a little aggressive. You can obviously, your goals are your goals, and your steps to get there are your steps, right? But this is just a fictitious example. Okay. So if my goal is to get $500,000, and if I can get there, I'll be on trajectory to hit my 5-year goal. And if I'm at my 5-year goal, I'll be on trajectory to hit my 20-year goal. Then my goal for that 1 year, where do I need to be in the next month in order to be on track to hit that 1-year goal, right? And maybe it's not a monetary number at that 1 month. It's, hey, I'm going to need to, buy a piece of real estate, or I'm going to need to start an online business, or I'm going to need to buy a laundromat, or whatever the case may be, right? I'm going to need to, be here after 1 month in order to hit my 1-year goal, in order to hit my 5-year goal, in order to hit my 20-year goal, right? And then we back it off and say, okay, if my goal, so let's just say I want to start, I want to be an escrow in a laundromat in the next month. Right? Okay. So then if that's my goal, then I say, okay, well, what can I do this week in order to make sure I'm on the path to hit my 1 month goal? And, for this example, let's just say, I'm trying to be an escrow. I am going to visit 10 laundromats, call 10 laundromat brokers or agents, and inquire about 10 laundromats online in the next week. Right? Okay. Then we back it off and say, okay, if that's my week goal, what do I need to do today? And today, maybe I need to compile a list of all of the agents and map out, the 10 laundromats I'm going to go to, or whatever. Right? So that's my 1 day to hit my 1 week, to hit my 1 month, to hit my 1 year, to hit my 5 years, to hit my 20 years. Right? And then he backs it down one more step and says, okay, if my goal for today is to, compile a list of agents and map out the routes to the laundromats, what can I do right now that's going to ensure I hit that 1 day goal? What's my most important next step to hitting my 1 day goal, for my week goal, et cetera, right? This goal setting to the now. So starting big picture and working your way backwards and creating a path to build the life that you want to have along the way. Okay. Hugely transformational for me. And it's something I do every single morning. I wake up and I write down my 3 main goals. I do it in my Remarkable here, which is like a digital notebook. Also a life changer. Man, if any of you guys out there are note takers like me and find yourself with stacks and stacks of notebooks, dude, the Remarkable 2 is incredible. I'll put a link for anybody who's interested in the show notes, laundromatresource.com/show81, or if you're on YouTube down below. Super cool product. But anyways, I do it every morning. I write down, here's my 3, I do weekly goals and quarterly goals and all that. So mine aren't exactly the same, but here are my 3 weekly goals. Here's what I'm going to do today for each one of the, or here's why each one of these is a goal. I write that down every morning. And then here's my most important next step for each one of those goals that I'm going to do today. And then I have a little box at the bottom where it says, if I accomplish this today, then I'm going to feel good about the day, right? And then I'll write down, what do I need to accomplish? 1 to 3 things that if I accomplish those 3 things today, I'm going to feel good about the day. And then that's what I do. And then I do a reflection in the evening on my day and how it was too. So anyways, start with why and goal setting to the now, hugely transformational. So maybe take some time wherever you're at in the year for your next 365 days and say, where do I want to be a year from now? Or go longer term and say, where do I want to be 20 years from now? And work your way backwards and say, okay, well, what actions do I need to be taking? Because a lot of times I think we set goals, but we don't kind of map the path out to achieving those goals. And I think you're way more likely to achieve your goals if you map that path out and break it down into small chunks, into knowable, doable steps than if you just kind of set a goal, and especially a big goal, and don't have any idea what to do next. And I think those goals end up sitting there, getting dusty on the shelf. Okay. So that's tip number 2, start with why and goal setting to the now. Tip number 3 is this, write it down and revisit it every day, right? Just like I do with my Remarkable, or maybe you can do on your phone and your notes app or whatever, or you can do it in a notebook or whatever, is focus on those goals. Like if your goal is to buy a laundromat this year, focus on those goals and write it down and make sure that you're making progress on those goals. Keep yourself accountable to making progress, which is easier said than done, which is why it can be super powerful to have a buddy, a partner who can say, hey, did you make any progress towards your goal, this week or this month? That's why that accountability is so powerful, because it's really difficult to hold yourself accountable, but you can also hold yourself accountable. And one way to do that is to revisit it every day and write it down every day. Here's my goal. My goal is to buy a laundromat. Here were my steps. I need to call 10 agents. I need to reach out online to 10 people, and I need to visit 10 laundromats. Did I do any of that today? And if not, why not? And when am I going to do it? Right? So 2022 or your next 365 days is your year to crush these goals. And again, if it has anything to do with laundromats, go to laundromatresource.com/pro. Go check that out. See if it's something that's going to be a good fit for you. I think it's going to be a no-brainer, especially as these new things keep getting unrolled. Released. I'm going to go with release, especially as these new features and tools keep getting released. So make sure you go sign up, go check that out, and come be a part of the community. It is awesome. There's a whole lot of stuff going on over there at Laundromat Resource. So make sure you check that out. Okay, next week's episode, number 1, I'm going to tell you what the next thing that I'm rolling out is, which is awesome for the pro members, which is I'm super excited about it. Almost as excited as Library of Knowledge. And then number 2 for next week's episode, I'm having on Mark Stern from Eastern Funding, and we're talking about what 2022 has in store for us. And it's an incredible conversation. We've already done it. We've already recorded it. It's incredible. And again, if you have any interest in laundromats in 2022 and beyond, this episode is going to be a do not miss it episode. Okay. All right. We'll see you there, and we'll see you, at a webinar or, on a YouTube video or wherever going forward. But thank you guys for hanging with me today. Go crush 2022. Take some action. Make that your word for the year and build the life that you want to live. All right. Peace.